So Trump, since the start of his re-election campaign, which began on the day that he took office as president, has collected $2.3 million of money through his companies from his campaign donors. And the majority of that money has flowed through Trump Tower Commercial LLC. That's the entity that owns his space inside his famous Fifth Avenue Tower. That's been about $1.5 million that went through there. But then there are some other payments. There's a company called the Trump Corporation. That's collected about $200,000 since he took office. And those expenses are very hard to get a handle on. They list them as legal consulting or IT consulting, but that company is technically a management company. There's different random ones that pop up, but the main ones that you see are Trump Tower, the hotels, Trump Corporation, and Trump Restaurants LLC. So it actually is legal to spend campaign donor dollars on your own businesses. The trick is that you have to make sure that you're not spending more money than the value of the services that you're getting. So you're not paying an above market rate. And what's difficult in this situation, we don't know what they're paying for. So if you just take the space in Trump Tower, they're paying about $38,000 a month in rent to Trump Tower. But even though I've asked a bunch of times, they won't tell us how many square feet they're renting. So if we don't know how many square feet they're renting, and we don't know what type of space it is, then we can't figure out what the market rate for that space should be. And since we can't figure out what the market rate should be, we can't tell whether their payments do fit the market rate. The real comparison here is what we saw with both the Donald J. Trump Foundation and with the Eric Trump Foundation, where donors were giving money expecting that they would go to one thing. In the case of the Donald J. Trump Foundation, it was, that it was going to go all to charity. And in fact, some of that money went to doing things like, buying a signed football helmet from Tim Tebow, or buying portraits of Donald Trump that he, hung up in golf clubs. And in the Eric Trump Foundation, it was all supposed to go to a kids' cancer charity, and some of that money from the donations ended up actually back in the Trump business. And so it's similar to how they've worked with other nonprofits in the past. Another example is the Presidential Inaugural Committee. Donors were giving funds to the inauguration. Some of that money ended up going back to rent out and lease space inside the Trump International Hotel. And so in all of these instances, you have cases where people believe that they're donating to one thing, and some of that money winds up in the Trump family business.